Hi, my name is Koen Ross and I'm the newest ambassador to join the REFSIX team. I've been refereeing for 12 years and I'm currently based out of Alaska in the United States. In this video, I'm going to be covering REFSIX's first US tournament. So follow along to see all the background that happens at a US tournament covered by a REFSIX referee. Packing for a tournament requires a little bit more than packing for a singular match, especially when the tournament has varying weather conditions. So a couple important things include both long sleeve and short sleeve jerseys, some sunscreen, a parka and gloves for when it gets really cold, and last but not least, some mobilization and stretching equipment. The tournament I'm about to go to is the Alaska State High School Championships. It's perhaps the most prestigious tournament in the state. As a referee, you have to be invited in order to go. Since this tournament is more elite, the state association gives you the choice that they will either pay for your flight and rental car to the tournament location, or you can drive your personal vehicle and they'll reimburse you for your time and gas. I chose to drive my own vehicle just because it's a little more simple and also the drive is quite gorgeous. So that was the pre-tournament meeting. We went over priorities, points of emphasis, issues that came up last year that we're hoping to prevent this year. Overall, it was a pretty brief meeting, but we want to make sure that all the referees are on the same page and we are on top of our games the next 3 days. And now that that meeting's over, the state association is paying for dinner.
Deposited the next day, start off 8 a.m. first period of the day.
At the meeting, each of the referees got an envelope with things we'll need for the tournament. Let's see what's inside. First off, we have our credentials, like our backstage pass to get us into the venues, whistle branded with the Alaska State logo, and last but not least, we got the new coin. Got red for heads right there, yellow for tails right there. Pretty neat. So it is now day one of the tournament. Everyone has 2 games today. Let's go. We have arrived at the field location, about an hour to the game time, which is standard for arrival. Now time to check in, see if the crew's all here, and get ready for the match. We're at about 40 minutes to kickoff, so it's time to do some mobility and activation exercises. Ultimately, a good match. No cards were needed, although we came pretty close in the realm of dissent. Now that the first match is done, it's time to recover, stretch a little bit, eat some food, and get ready for my line at 3 o'clock. One tricky thing about refereeing in the US is you have to know a couple different rule sets. Here for high school, we vary a little bit from the IFAB laws in what is known as NFHS. Most notably, extra time can be very different. In NFHS, you can play 4 sets of extra time, starting with regular extra time and then going to sudden death or golden goal extra time. So the second game was pretty easy and very cold. Feeling pretty good at the end of the day, so I think I'm gonna loosen up the muscles just before I stretch for the last time. I'm gonna go for a brief jog just to add to that training base, and then fuel up and recover and get ready for tomorrow. It is now day 2 of the tournament. I have 3 games today, which is a little more than usual for tournaments like this, but they know I just retired as a distance runner, so they'll happily put me on 3 games. My first two are assistants. Looking at the lineups, it shouldn't be too contentious for either game, but my 7 p.m. game should be very competitive. It's going to be a tense semifinal, so I'm definitely going to be preparing for that all day and making sure I'm well fed and well recovered so I can do that game at my very best. So my first assistant just got changed to a fourth official amid tournament chaos, so I'm in the middle of my new duties, checking in teams, checking colors, and getting to know the coaches. Fourth official is done. It was a little bit cold. We had a last minute penalty to win it, so very exciting. Now right on to my assistant. One cool thing about tournaments like these is a lot of the food is provided. This location for the tournament is absolutely exceptional. They have snacks available constantly for the officials, along with preparing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Whatever one might need, plenty of food. They just had a baked potato bar for the officials with all the toppings that you could dream of. Yeah, it's a fantastic perk of working tournaments like these that they take great care of the officials. At most tournaments, it's usually a good idea to have a couple pairs of shoes that you can referee in. So these ones are a little more comfortable, my Solomon Speed Cross 2s. So I wore these for the first two games today, but for the bigger games, I usually like to break up the cleats. A little more responsive, a little more aggressive. So the last game of the day is definitely gonna be the Copas. Match time. So day two is over, the third and final match. My center was certainly competitive, currently very tired after the long day, and it's time to go to bed. It is finals day. You don't find out what your finals are until the night before. When the assigners are considering these assignments, a lot of factors are considered, especially your ability going into the tournament, your in-tournament performance, avoiding previous matchups. You also want to avoid anything that could look biased. Whether or not they're there, you don't want the appearance of a bias. So my assignment for the day is the whistle on the D1 girls final. It's going to be exciting, so let's get to it. The match before mine went through all 4 periods of extra time. It is now going to penalties, so my final is delayed.
The officials for the third game of this 4th slate: Koen Ross, Taylor Norris, Sophia Aquistapache, and James Robertson. Bracketed by Breslin Gonzalez, who takes her quickly counters. Left got there, and that's the match. The South Anchorage Wolverines are back atop the mountain.
Well, this marks the end of day 3 and the end of the Alaska High School State Tournament. It was an honor to be invited and an even bigger honor to be selected for a whistle on a final. I was very proud of all the crews I got to work with throughout these last 3 days. I thought we did our jobs brilliantly, and as a whole, the entire group of officials that was at this tournament, a brilliant group to work with and learn from. The energy, the atmosphere, the fans, it was absolutely electric. I love tournaments like this because the level of prestige brings out a greater level of competition in the players and fantastic support from their parents, their families, their friends. And so as a referee, it's very exciting to feel the emotion of the game like that. Every single call being contended by both sides. So very exciting to be here. Now that the tournament is over, all of these matches were videoed and live streamed by the Alaska School Activities Association. So we get to go back, watch our footage, review, and learn. and that's what I'll be doing for the next week, along with some training. That's all we've got for this tournament video. I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you haven't been to a US tournament before, I hope this gives you a decent picture of how things might go. Of course, there's some variation in tournament types, but please feel free to leave comments, ask questions, and if you have been to a US tournament before, let me know if you've got a cooler coin than this one, and if you'd be willing to trade. Until next time, see you guys.